Hello, this is Shoaib Siddiq with you on NA's Weekly English News. A Rohingya advocacy group urged the government of Myanmar last week to cooperate with a UN fact-finding mission as it presents new evidence of attacks against Muslim civilians in Western Arakan state. The London-based Burmese Rohingya organization UK, BROKE, published a new report that contains evidence Rohingya have been targeted in an organized manner by state forces in northern Arakan state during the military operations since last October. What is new about the material contained in this report is that it documents through photographs, testimonies and forensic analysis physical evidence of attacks against civilians, Brooks said in its report. The report was based on more than 2,000 interviews with the Rohingya refugees in Cox's Bazar's region of Bangladesh who fled the Mongdo area last year. Evidence of gunshot and other weapon wounds were checked against information collected by international groups working in the refugee camp, according to the report. Brooke urged the government to further investigate the physical evidence of the abuses against civilians in the area. The report urges the international community must not allow the obstruction of fact-finding mission by the government of Burma to lead to further impunity of crimes being committed. If obstructed by the government, the mission must collect evidence by the other means, and this report demonstrates that it is possible to collect evidence in neighboring countries, it said. Around 32 Rohingya women and girls were raped by military and border guard police in Chowtong village, which is situated in the northern side of Tong Bazar village of Bodidong township in Arakan state. A group of joint forces consisting of about 250 army and border guard police suddenly entered in Chowtong village and surrounded the village. As they checked house by house, while doing so, men were detained and beaten. The women and girls were taken out of the houses and were forced to line up. And the soldiers and police molested them and robbed them whatever they found on the woman's body, such as gold and money. The troops also destroyed many things inside the houses and took away any gold and money, whatever valuable that they found. Then started vandalizing household and kitchen items, according to the villagers. According to the villagers, at least 32 women and girls were raped by the soldiers and border guard police. Among them, 2 women were gang raped. All of them reported about the sexual violence to the high-ranking officers of the military and border guard police based nearby their village. They have said on May 9th, 7 women and girls from the middle village, on 10th May, 16 women and girls from Sarkin village, and on May 11th, 9 women and girls from the middle village were raped. A senior European Union official has urged the Myanmar to allow full aid access to the northern state of Arakan, where thousands have fled their homes after a month-long army crackdown on Rohingya Muslims. The area, along with the country's northwestern border, has been under lockdown since October, when the military launched a campaign to hunt down Rohingya militias who staged deadly attacks on police posts. Some 100,000 people from the Muslim minority were displaced by the violence, most of them fleeing to Bangladesh and bringing with them harrowing stories of rape, torture and mass killings by soldiers. Myanmar has rebuffed UN claims that its security forces may have committed crimes against humanity and refused to allow international observers into the area. De facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi this month publicly rejected a UN mission to probe the violence after meeting EU's diplomatic chief Federica Mogherini. European Union Commissioner for Aid Christos Stylianides said he pushed for unrestricted humanitarian access during the 3-day visit to Myanmar, which included a tour of northern Arakan state. The Union of Myanmar Muslim Students in Sudan celebrated the graduation and admission of a new batch of Rohingya students who have been sent to Sudanese university to complete their higher studies. The Federation organized a ceremony under the auspice of International Student Welfare Organization and sponsored by the Organization of Migrants. It was attended by the Director General of Maraj Organization for Development and Peace, the chairman of Myanmar High Committee for Relief, Mr. Muhammad Hassan Ahmad al-Bashir, and a number of Sudanese leaders, also a number of associations affiliated with the union. The number of students graduating 2016 to 2017 is 9 students with different degrees, while the number of students newly joined this year from the Union of Myanmar is 40 students. During the ceremony, the union inaugurated the new president in 2017, Engineer Jamal Abdurrahman Abdul Karim, who led the ode to all and promised to make every effort to create a bright future for the union and the Rohingya people in Sudan. And Mr. Muhammad Hassan Ahmad al-Bashir said in a speech about the willingness to provide more support to concerned Rohingyas in Sudan. The Myanmar police on last Thursday arrested 11 Rohingya Muslims in Yangon after fleeing Arakan province. In a statement to Anadolu agency, a police official said that 11 people have been arrested in a bus at a transport station. He pointed out that the human traffickers brought the detainees to the city to go to the border with Thailand and to Malaysia. He pointed out that the authorities will take legal action because of their entry to Yangon illegally, he said. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Human Rights Affairs said more than 70,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled Mongdo since October. The Myanmar army launched a military campaign in Arakan on October 9 after border posts were attacked. The campaign included arrest and widespread security sweeps among the population that left at least 400 Rohingya Muslims dead, according to Rohingya activists, in the country's biggest wave of violence since 2012. Arakan is one of Myanmar's poorest regions and since 2012 have witnessed acts of violence between Buddhists and Muslims. Hundreds of people have been killed and hundreds of thousands have been displaced. The Myanmar government considers the Rohingya as illegal immigrants from Bangladesh under a law passed in 1982, while the United Nations classifies them as the most persecuted religious minority in the world. Qatar has expressed its interest to assist Bangladesh in resolving the Rohingya refugee problem with Myanmar. Qatari Prime Minister Abdullah bin Nasser bin Khalifa Al Thani expressed the interest in a letter to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Qatari Foreign Minister's Special Envoy Dr. Multaq bin Majid Al Qahtani handed over the letter to Sheikh Hasina at her official Gunabanaban residence on Thursday evening. Prime Minister's Press Secretary Ehsanul Karim briefed reporters after the meeting. In the letter, he said the Qatari Prime Minister invited the Bangladeshi counterpart to visit the Gulf state. Accepting the invitation, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said that she would visit Qatar at a mutually convenient time. During the meeting, the Qatari Foreign Minister's Special Envoy expressed concerns about the Rohingya refugee crisis, saying we should work for a solution for the lasting peace. In response, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said that Bangladesh have very good relationship with Myanmar. We share information and there have been a high official level visit, she said. The Premier addressed the Qatari Foreign Minister's Special Envoy that Bangladesh has already urged Myanmar to take back its nationals, referring to the signing of CHT peace treaty during her tenure in 1997. The Prime Minister said the insurgents that time surrendered their arms before her without involvement of others. Sheikh Hasina also extended greetings to the Qatari Emir Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani and Qatari Prime Minister Abdullah bin Nasser bin Khalifa Al Thani. A Rohingya man was killed by an unknown assailant while the last one remained missing in a village on the outskirts of the city of Butidong in Arakan state of Myanmar. The men were working as officials in the city. The man who was found headless on last Friday 90 feet away from his home, and people believe an unknown group is behind the incident. The city of Butidong along with the city of Mongdo witnessed a military campaign for 4 months from October 2016 to February 2017, killed 1,000 people and displaced nearly 90,000 Rohingya, mostly to the neighboring Bangladesh where they live in refugee camps. Some 300 Rohingyas and others gathered near the village of Kampung Kapela Bentang in the northern Malaysia to visit a Rohingya cemetery where many Rohingya refugees were buried after their bodies were discovered in perilous region over 2 years ago. They came from Penang and Sunang Pete and prayed for the victims whose graves have been found in 28 human trafficking camps near Wang Kilan in Perlis province on the Malaysian-Thai border. The event was co-organized by the Malaysian Consultative Council of the Islamic Organization, MAPIN, and the Malaysian Rights Campaign. The chairman of MAPIN, Azmi Abdul Hamid, urged the authorities to be vigilant in dealing with human trafficking cases. Thank you for watching this. Chef Siddiq. Hope to see you very soon with more news.